Hi there, Trevor Duke with First Mate Yacht here, up here on 63rd Street at the Indian Creek Bridge. The 1 o'clock bridge is just Tuesday after the Miami show. Let's look at some of the big boats we got going through here. That is the newer 85 Princess. Going through first, they had their spot picked out in line for a while. This line goes back at least 10 blocks, all the way down to 55th Street. There's a whole lot of boats and a big old traffic jam here. We got another Princess coming through next. Looks like the 53 Princess is the New Lincoln Sport Cruisers, kind of a subsidiary of. What's in coming through? I believe a large Fairline, probably about a 65-foot boat. Behind it, this looks like a 116 Azimut that was right next to us there in the show while we were taking care of an 84 Lazera. I believe this boat, Azimut, built the hull, built the superstructure, and it's been completely customized by another company. I think it's got a home theater in it and quite a few really nice options. Very, very modern interior. Oh, excuse me, this is Revere. I think that's either 116 or 130 Azimut. This is an oil gentleman, Mr. Coffee, I believe. Here's a 50 Azimut coming through. A little smaller than its big brother there. Over here, looks like a smaller Marquis, designed by Nuvolari-Leonard. Nuvolari-Leonard won an award by the Italian Trade Commission at dinner we went to. The Italians are really making some big stuff in Marquis, which is owned by Carvani, has some Italian influence to make some good-looking boats. Another Marquis, and I'm not sure the lengths. I believe that one's about, I think it's about 50. And this guy behind it is probably a 45. Slightly different window configuration. You see the 3 side windows on that boat and only 2 there. Coming up next, looks like the Palm Beach 50, a down east styled boat. Little different window structure, pretty bulbous. We got one of these up in Charlottesville, Michigan, on the dock a few down from mine. Coming up is another Marquis. Slightly larger Marquis with a flybridge. Looks to be about the same as that 55-footer. Maybe it's a 55 or 60-foot boat with a flybridge option. Sportfish coming through here. It is sometimes difficult to tell the sportfish apart at a distance. This might be the first boat I can't spot real quick. By the windows, I'd say Hatteras, though. This could be one of their new GTs. Looks a little smaller. Maybe that's a 53 GT. We'll see if the transom gives us any info. Yeah, it's definitely a Hatteras GT 54. Man, I'm good. Tierra here looks like the 43 Open. Probably the fishing boats there. Coming up is an Ocean, probably I'd say a 60-foot boat. Got a Timo here. Oh, excuse me. Maritimo sunk back a little bit more. Kind of more of a flare up front. I think the Maritimos typically have windows on the hull. But Riviera is making some sport fishes now too. Here's a Tierra. I really should know my. I think that's a 50. Looks to be 48. That's the 48 convertible, an HMY boat there. Here's a Riviera, probably a 50. Got some big windows in the cockpit there. This is a 72 Princess. You really got some straight windows on that boat. Here's a Cronky, driven by Russ Porkert, a Yacht Works. I think I see his big old mustache. Looks like he's got a couple customers on boat. Man, clean looking boat. That's actually the That boat just got here, freighter. Got here a day or two ago. We had to get them late for the show. East Sigrid by Princess. Coming up here, possibly another Hatteras. I'm guessing by the windows that this is one of the other Hatteras GTs, probably the 60 GT. Yep. Good looking blue hull sides, not quite Carolina blue. 63 GT. Looks to be the 55 Princess. Little Express. Another sport fish coming through here. Can't quite tell. Might be American. Let's get a better look at that guy. You know, I think that's the first one that stumped me. The boat is named Wasabi, and I think I've seen it on the shows, but I couldn't tell you what it is. If I had to guess, I'd say American. This was a show debut, I believe. Prima Donna by IAG Yachts. They are a Chinese company. I think this is one of their first hulls. The boat is 112 or 122, and it's all fiberglass. Usually you don't see fiberglass boats this big. You need steel or aluminum to deal with that much weight. But they did it all out of fiberglass, really cutting down the cost. That boat, a 120-foot boat, comes in at about $10 million, which compared to, let's say, a Hargrave or a Westport, a 130 Westport, I think it's $17 million new, and the new 140 Hargrave, I think I heard was just about $20 million. So it's good that they're making the super yachts more affordable, but we'll see how IAG does. Coming up here, we got a Viking. Viking had a great booth at the show in their typical arrangement. Probably a 58-foot G8 Viking named Marathon out of Massachusetts. Here is a big old sport fish. I'm going to guess Viking just by the windows there. I think that's the 80. Possibly the 80 open up top, 80 convertible with the tuna tower on. Which named Hosanna. This is a Prestige. Jeannot's power boats. The foray into the market. We did an old Prestige at the boat show. Coming up here, I'm guessing another Prestige. I think this is the Express version, without a flybridge, but it's got the soft top. You can see a head poking up there. And a lady on the back, in a bikini, 44 Prestige. This is the NC2. I think that's the name of the boat, but it's definitely, as you know, smaller day boat. I don't know if I'd call it an Express. Here's a 85 Azimuth coming through here. Two gentlemen on top having a good time. I really like the Azimuth lines better on the bigger boats. I think it's tough to squish their lines into a 50-foot boat. This is Cherish. It's like an old Broward by those square windows. Country up top, extra half cockpit there. Really stretched out that back deck. Here's a Hatteras. Good looking Hatteras with the dinghy up front. Nice to have the dinghy capability on a sport fish. Here's a Viking, an older Viking, you know, before they called them Princess. One of their, I don't know what they call them, sport cruisers. Probably a 65, 70-foot boat. I think the Princesses look a little better. That's a Viking 61, actually. Here's Moonsand. This boat is offered by Beach & Brokerage. We were actually offered a tour of this boat at the show, but we got so darn busy we couldn't take him up on it. But good looking boat, 144 feet. Can't think of the manufacturer right now. But moon sand. Here's a Viking sport cruiser, or excuse me, sport fish. Ferretti. Great looking Ferretti. Allied had a great booth as always. We got to go on the Viva. There's actually a Viva coming up here. This boat with a green hull is just right. Looks to be a Broward. That isinglass on the back just kind of upsets the lines a little bit, squares up the boat a little more than I think it should be. Here's the Viva 72 Veneer. Went on that boat yesterday. Great looking boat. A little different layout with the galley up top, kind of a hallway galley, but still plenty of room. Big enough salon, and I think 4 full staterooms down below. Should be a Grand Banks, probably 62 Grand Banks, not the East Bay, the typical trawler style. Here's an Ultima, French company. Looks like a really small Pacific Mariner with those windows. We've got the 55-foot boat, 60-foot boat. Here's an Attica, that's an old Hatteras. I think 90 to 110-foot Hatteras. Probably about 50. Good looking boat with those Hatteras left. Here's Captain Steve Gillum. There's Captain. Doesn't know who I am waving to him. That's Island Girl. We cleaned that boat at the show. Distinct boat, Tier 58. Great looking boat. It's odd seeing them down here, and so used to seeing them in freshwater. Just doesn't click with me. But great looking 58. Viking sport cruiser. Again, before the Princess name. Windows are a little more triangular. I think we figured out see on that if you can see the siren, but that's all that's going to make it through this crossing. It took 13 minutes. I feel bad for these guys. Going to have to wait all day. But enjoy it. At the 63rd's taking its time to close. There's plenty of boats headed home after a great show.